Welcome into Magical You. On my podcast today, I'm super excited. I am bringing back, many of you already know her, Rhonda Rife. She's going to be talking numerology. She does a lot of other great things too. Been working with her for many years, but we're going to be talking about the crazy February coming up. I mean, it's just amazing. This is the change of the world as we move forward because we have a lot of stuff going on, and I'm going to have her talk more about this, about all the dates and everything here in February. So welcome in, Rhonda.
Thank you, Vicki. You aren't kidding. There is a lot going on energetically in February. And for those of you that maybe did not see the podcast that you and I have done earlier about this being a universal year one, we are ushering in all of this new energy right now because it's a universal year one. So all this new exciting thing, all of this change, everything's going on. And now in February, it's also going to be the Lunar or Asian or Chinese New Year. And we are get rid of the snake that shed its skin all last year, getting ready to come into the fire horse. So that in the fire horse is a fire element, which is the number one. We are in a universal year one. And so there's all of this new dynamic energy that we would have had some of it in January because the month of January is a 1 year too. But now with everything that's happening, and then there's all of these other eclipses, Mardi Gras starting, all on the 17th of February. So there's a lot. And then there's Valentine's Day too. But let's talk just about the 17th for a second, because the lunar,
Yes.
the 8th.
This is a big day. And if people don't know that, maybe let's just backtrack up. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people should know this. It's a big day, and go over exactly what's happening on February 17th. Because I see it as a cluster.
So we've got this, it's the Lunar New Year, which deals with the moon. So there's going to deal with the moon. It's going to switch us into Fire Horse. The Mardi Gras, which again is all about, getting rid of your sins and getting ready to go into these 40 days of, introspection and all of those kinds of things. And then we've got some eclipses that are going on. All of this stuff is going on, and it's happening on the 17th. So numerically, let's take a look at that. We're in a year one, which is all about new beginnings. We're in the fire horse year, which is also a fire element, which is a 1, all again about starting new things. We're in the month of February, which is 2, which is about relationships and partnerships, and also peacemaking, balance, those kinds of things, anything relationship going on, and not just romantic relationship, although that's part of it too. And then again with the Mardi Gras, where we've got this whole thing of getting ready to go into this sort of holy retrospection, everything is going on all at once. So if you look at the date, it's the 17th, which is a 1 and a 7. So there you are again, another new beginning. The 7 deals with spirituality. And so the date then would be 2171. So you're looking at all of these things that are going on with new beginnings based on spirituality and relationships and sort of balance, peacekeeping, negotiating, that kind of thing, arbitration. And when you add those all together, it comes up to an 11. So again, here we are again.
Master number.
Yes, the master number, which again are 11, 22, and 33. And so it deals with spirituality, learning, introspection, visions, visionary, all the kinds of things that both you and I talk about a lot happening with that on the 11th. So with an 11 vibrational day. So it's going to be a super dynamic day on top of all of these other things that are coming to a head. And when you look at them.
Can I ask you a question there? Because as you're talking 17, so we're going on the 17th is also what you're saying is also going to be a vibrational day of 11 on the 17th.
Yeah, so you would add 2 plus 1 plus 7 plus 1 for the universal year, which comes out to, it adds up to an 11.
11. Right? Okay.
So that's cool. Where I came up with the 11 with that. So the 11, if you look at this, Mardi Gras again is like a religious sort of celebration, Christian religious celebration. And so you've got that 7 spirituality plus the 11 is spirituality. Then you've got to do the cosmos kinds of events that are going on, which deal with the eclipses and all of the thing with the moon phases and all of that kind of stuff, which deals with, again, spirituality, metaphysics, those kinds of things. And then you have this Lunar New Year that's starting, and it's a different day every year. People don't realize it's not like us, our calendar, the Gregorian calendar, where it's always January 1st. every year, the Lunar New Year or the Chinese or Asian New Year is based on moon cycles. And so it has to deal with full moons. So there you are again. Every year it's different. Next year it won't be February 17th. Last year it was in January.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering how they just come up with this day. And,
Yeah.
so yeah, it makes sense with the eclipse too. So they come up on it's a full moon. Is it a full moon that day?
Yes. Yeah. So, yes. That's why it's the
Oh,
lunar.
plus it's a full moon. Well, it's an
Right.
eclipse. Yeah. So it's a
Right.
full moon eclipse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's why they switched it to be more politically correct to Lunar New Year, and that's because the lunar, the moon, has the same meaning with that. So, but that's why it does is it coincides with the full moon cycles and all of that. And another thing people don't realize because Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday Mardi Gras leads into Lent, which deals with Easter, and people don't realize that Easter is based on full moon cycles. A lot of people don't realize.
I was, that's a good, I was always wondering because that's what I've asked before. I'm like, how can you get Easter sometimes in March and then sometimes you get it in April? Like that, it's just weird and random how they just shifted up. So it has to do with the moon.
It has to do with the moon also. Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
And so if it has to do with the moon, like what does it have to do with religion? What does it have to do with Jesus? Because, Easter's supposed to be about Jesus rising. I know it might be going on a little subject here, but that's kind of weird to me.
Well, back, you have to remember that this calendars and things are relatively new to our society. So things were done differently 2,000 years ago. And people honored
True.
those kinds of things like astrology, watching the planets, looking at the sun cycles and the moon cycles. And they counted, like harvest was so many suns and so many moons. And so that's how they kept track of a lot of stuff, was based on the moon cycles. And so it has to do with that. But, and it deals with, Jesus, that's when he had to do the Palm Sunday, and he was set off for 40 days in the desert in Gethsemane to, do his fasting and all of those kinds of things to get ready for his preparation with that. But it's the date of Easter itself is associated with how many moon cycles have happened since the beginning of the year.
I was always just wondering that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have great information on that too. All right. Go
Yeah.
on.
So it has to deal with those cycles that are going on. So you can see where the 17th, this particular year, is going to be a powerful day with that spirituality and partnerships and how you deal with relationships and things like that. So there's just going to be so much intensity. It's definitely going to be one of those days that would not be considered a normal portal day. Like for instance, the 2nd of February would have been a portal day, 221, and the 12th was 2121, all of those, because I'm using universal year 1 at the end there.
Right.
So all of those.
But I want to ask about that though, because it's the eclipse. So it's interesting you saying partnerships because eclipse means things will be eclipsing out of your life. So this time when a lot of breakups happen, breakups, it could also mean that they also eclipse into your life. So you could meet somebody new too. But I was just wondering when you're telling me it's not the portal day and that it's a big relationship day, but is it a big breakup day too because of the eclipse?
And again, it's still a portal day. It's just not one that you would traditionally take a look at it numerically and go, oh, that's a portal day. It's a portal day because of the 11th, but because of all of these things converging at once. And if you remember, I said it's relationships, but it's also peacekeeping, negotiation, and keeping balance and all of those kinds of things. So those are the things that are happening. Like you might have to do some giving, taking, all of those things with that too. And yes. Again, think of it again, though, is that basically we're sweeping out the old to make room for the new. And that's happening.
Absolutely. That's
happening with the Lunar New Year. That's happening with the Universal Year. And, it's also now happening with these eclipses. So things that aren't working, you're going to have them more vivid. They're going to come through because this is a 2 month. This is all about partnerships and relationships. And again, it's not just about... it's not just about romantic stuff. I mean, it's also about any kinds of relationships.
Friendships, business. Yeah. Even I even think your partnership with your money, your partnership with your health. I mean, everything. We have partnerships to everything.
And the lunar part of it, the moon, deals with emotions, but it's also sort of the more introspective, more feminine side. So it's not going to be as bright. The yin is the sort of the darkness, the kind of womb energy. And so It can be kind of an illusion, and we're also going to be getting right. We're still going to be in Aquarius then, but we'll be getting ready to go into Pisces. So there's going to be sort of some of this illusion where that eclipse maybe is going to pull back the curtain. So things that you've been kind of thinking are
True.
like, okay, it's already, I think I've cleaned this out, or I've got ready to move forward. Something's going to pop up, because that is going to be a really, really intense day energetically for everybody on the planet.
So when you say intense, because I already feel like February is just really coming forward really fast for so many people. And I just see when just even channeling as because I'm a channeler, I see that with the pretty much the curtain just being off, like truth galore. So in other words, if you think a partner is cheating, it'll be there. Or you think, somebody in your bank or somebody in work or something isn't doing or lying, it'll show up. Like, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's part of it, but it also could even be that the truths are being exposed. For an example, I had a conversation with. Are you there? Hello?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. So the cosmos doesn't want us talking about it, I guess. Yeah, I had a conversation the other day with somebody, and we were talking about the difference between the Protestant Bible and the Catholic Bible. And they were convinced that the Protestant Bible was written first and the Catholics added books. And I said, no, that's not how it happened. There was the Catholic Bible first, and Protestants came around and then took out a lot of those chapters in the book.
I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day too. Yeah.
And it didn't happen until
Like the Dead Sea Scrolls are not in the Protestant. Like I know this because I was raised super religious. So yes.
and so it didn't happen until 1600. It was like it didn't happen close to the time of Jesus. It didn't happen until the 1600s with Martin Luther.
Wow.
And so there's another example of it's not about somebody cheating or lying, but the truth being exposed. So now all of a
Right.
sudden, everything that you thought was like, well, what do you mean? I mean, I've believed that this way, for 2,000 years that it was like this. So there's just those kinds of things that are going to be, I think, exposed maybe. Like you were talking about the curtain. It's kind of like, the Wizard of Oz. Like all of a sudden you see the man behind the curtain. I think those are the kinds of
Right.
things. So I would have to say it's more truths are being exposed. And some of those could be lies that are uncovered or cheaters that are uncovered. But it could also be maybe somebody secretly has some kind of, secret desire to be in partnership with you and you don't know about it. That could also be exposed as well. So there's just some things with that too. Now,
So the truth, and I feel the truth globally too. So the truth of every situation. I feel those are also going to come to the head too.
and I think that's going to happen on the 17th here. I think you're going to see either because of the negotiation thing of the number 2, you're going to see that maybe some agreements are reached maybe for peace or the Middle East, or it could be exactly the opposite where nothing, works out because we're switching into the year of the fire horse, which is about power and force and fire and, sort of an aggressive kind of energy. So, but people are going to be like their tempers might be short on that February the 17th, or it could be completely the opposite where they're so full of joy, they're dancing around and throwing beads at Mardi Gras, that it's just going to be that kind of vibrant kind of thing. And, Wayne Dyer always told the story that about the orange, that you can only get orange juice from the orange. So whatever's happening in your life that's going on the 17th, that's going to put the squeeze on that. So if you're the orange, you're going to get the orange juice. But if you're some kind of a sour apple, that's what you're going to get. So
Yeah, I love it.
too.
Karma.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm an orange. I'm getting good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you have the 17th, which obviously is a huge day, and then the eclipse. Like I know that's everything is kind of feeding up to that, but also we have Mercury going retrograde too, which I think it's the 25th.
25th, 26th. I think it starts the 20. Well, we're kind of in Doho where it's leading into it, but yeah, the 26th is definitely.
We're in shadow right
Yes,
now. I've
yeah.
been feeling the glitchiness, so I
Yeah.
feel like I'm also seeing that where it's just going to be pretty much quantum leaping and glitchy and Wi-Fi and just I see this glitchiness that's definitely going to happen. And communication, of course, that's what happens too. So I'm wondering how that is going to be. Is the 17th going to lead into that because the 25th is right after?
Well, the 17th, when you add 1 and 7 together, it's an 8. And 8 is a lot to do with karma and contracts, banking. So I would see that that's
Mm,
where it's going to hit maybe on the 17th. But again,
volatile.
but
Yeah.
then again, we're not really going into it until the 26th. But what is 2 plus 6? 8. So another 8 day. So there you are
Oh.
again with it. So I look for it to hit things that have to deal with banking and all of those things. And if you've been watching, I try not to watch a lot of the news, but some of it you have to see.
I don't
And they're
watch the news,
talking
so, but I know the money.
about how the other countries now are retaliating against some of these tariffs is they're just dumping their US Treasury bonds onto our market, which is devaluing our currency. So there you might see a lot of those kinds of things that start to happen on the 26th of February that's dealing with the finances with Mercury retrograde. So there's, going to be some things that's pretty much entirely in Pisces this year. It is entirely in Pisces this year. So that's another thing too. It's not covering two different signs. So you're going to see, it's about illusion again. It's about that, what it is that you want things to be aren't necessarily as they really tend to be. So you might think that you've signed this really great contract and then you're like, oh my God. So yeah, again, try not to do it during Mercury retrograde because it's pretty much the entire
Yeah, well, that's what I
issue.
was thinking. This one's going to be a doozy
Yeah.
because, yeah, because I mean, people might not know you don't sign contracts unless it's already been started, or you just have to make sure we go through it all with, make sure with a fine comb. But I'm just wondering with that too, I don't know. When I read the energy too, I feel time's really going to speed up or it's really going to be stalled. Like I feel each day is going to kind of go glitchy, like back and forth. So is that how like quantum leaping? And then we kind of like, it feels like 1 hour is a second. And then some days we're like, oh my God, it's been only a second. And I feel like it's going to kind of like do stuff with time.
Yeah, and I think that part of that has to do with this being a fire horse. If you think about it, you can sit and gaze into a fire for hours and not even realize it's been hours. But you
True.
can get on a horse and you can gallop like the wind.
True.
Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
I'm
So
getting on that horse.
so I think that that's what you're seeing is that this fire can be energizing, like somebody lights a fire under you, that's the expression.
Right.
Or you just sit and you sort of like veg out during the fire. So but I've been feeling that things have been haywire with time anyway, that it seems like, my friend the
Yes.
other day
I
said
feel
to
it's
me,
collapsing. I feel it collapsing. I don't even think pretty soon in a couple years or whatever. I don't even see us having time. Like it's really weird. I don't know what that looks like. People ask me that, but I just see it collapsing.
and it seems like time is being valued differently now too. It's not even just about,
For
you see,
sure.
time was the only thing that you had value of, but I think how people are spending their time now is different. They're weighting it differently. And so sometimes something with someone can seem like forever, and then another time you can be working and say, oh, well, okay, I'm only going to do this for a few hours, and then it seems like it's treacherous. So I definitely have been feeling the glitches with time. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with this universal year one, where we're supposed to be, the one is like a sprint. It's not a jog, it's a sprint. It's like a race, it's a sprint. So it's about you start off really fast and you try to get all your ducks in a row, and then you're going to get ready for the year two, which is more about jogging and
Wow.
pacing.
So it means this year, I mean, I know by the end of this year it's going to go really fast. So when you say sprint, it's not even walking. So we're going to probably feel this energy. And I have myself too. I've been feeling this like push in my back to, okay, let's move, step into your destiny more. Let's do this more. Let's move forward. Like you're not allowed to go back there. So that's I think a great description of a sprint versus just walking. It's done. Like the snake is done, which was the walking.
Yes, yes. And the horse is the
So
race.
what other big days? I mean, we're in February. What's the date today? Oh, so let's talk about Valentine's Day, February 14th for all the
So,
sweet lovers out there.
yeah, the lovers. So the 14th, that is going to be a 5 day, and we're in a year one. So it's going to come up to a 8 overall. So this might be a pretty expensive Valentine's Day, or this might be the Valentine's Day that you should splurge. It's definitely about risk. So try
Everybody keep
something
sending me
new.
flowers.
Yeah, everything is about, the 5 is about trying new things, something maybe that you wouldn't have even thought of before, that it could be that you're going to go whale watching instead of, going out for candlelight dinner. Something
Oh, I like
completely,
that.
something completely out of the norm would be really good this Valentine's Day to celebrate that.
I like that.
And maybe even start a new tradition. So again, this entire month is also Heart Month by the American Heart Association. So that goes along again with this Valentine's Day, the theme, the hearts, and just heart deals with passion. And passion then again deals with the fire horse or the fire element in the year one. So it all just
It's
loops
a
together.
passionate one.
It is. So this year is going to be, because it's a year one and we're not quite to fire horse yet, but you're going to see that this is going to have a lot of passion this year with Valentine's Day.
So what about singles? Because I know there's singles and people in partnerships, and then I think it's kind of weird too because then you have the eclipse, and so I'm sure like if your partnership's already been falling, the eclipse will push it out more. But also, what about single people? Because things could eclipse in too. So do you feel anything with that with the numbers?
Well, I think it depends upon if people, are looking for the relationship. Sometimes they're not necessarily looking for that relationship. Maybe they just got out of
They're
a
happy
bad
single.
one,
Yeah.
or they're not ready for a new one. Maybe they don't have a lot of choices out there where they are. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons that you're not
Right.
having a relationship.
Right.
But definitely February being a 2 month is the time to manifest that. That's that they say in feng shui, the number for the romance and partnership number in the corner in the house, the bagua, is a 2. So you want to put things that are in twos, pairs. So like if you're looking for this, this kind of goes along with the numbers. If you're somebody that's looking to bring a relationship in and you're not there, but you're cut out salt of your life, well, now you only have pepper. Well, of course, you don't have a mate for the pepper. So even
Right.
something as small and symbolic as that can make a difference with that. And then, when you get to the places about creativity in children, that's for threes. You want to do things in groups of threes. So if you're constantly doing things only in threes in your house, and maybe it's a picture of a flower bouquet that has 3 flowers, or maybe it's a picture of goldfish and there's 3 goldfish, or whatever it is that you have, then, sets of 3 towels in your bathroom, the cloth, the hand towel, and the wash rag.
It really works too. I do intuitive feng shui, and that really does work. Yeah. So if you want a partner to show up, you want to bring in as though they're there, a candle even on their light or leaving space in their bathroom and
And
on
do
that
it in
side.
twos. And what I was going to
Uh-huh.
say about the threes is that then you end up being the third wheel. So if you feel like you're somebody who's always, the tag along, take a look at that and see where you are encompassing the number 3 in your life, the symbology of 3. If you're looking to bring in that partner or the relationship, you want to
Oh
do
my God.
things in twos. And you want to do things that are in pairs. So, if you're, in a LGBT relationship, you might want to do 2 salts or you might want to do 2 peppers. But again, it just kind of depends upon you can.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
It's funny you say that because three is my nut. Like I love three as I
yeah.
am a 33 and threes are always my thing. And most of my friends are married and I do go along with them. I am the person, I mean, I even go on vacation with them and I'm friends with both the husband and wife. So it's pretty funny because I'm always like, I am, but I don't feel like the third wheel. But yeah, so that's interesting because a lot of my stuff is threes that I do.
And 3 is a number of fun. I'm not
Yeah,
discrediting the
that's why I
number
like three.
3. It's just that
Yeah,
if
I'm
you
not a
ask me about
twosie. I
partnership,
like two. I'm not a two number. So I'm probably rejecting partnerships because that is a two. And I don't like business partners. I've had, some businesses before and I'm like, no way am I having a business partner. So yeah, I have to look at that. I think that's a great information there.
And what is that new? There is a new relationship dynamic where there's 3. I can't polyamorous or something.
Polyamorous.
Yeah. Yep.
That's like a really complicated thing. That can be more than three. That's just too much for me. Not my jam. So I have a question though, because I have 5 kids, which 5 is my other number I love. Like I am a 6 too, my life path, but I do like 6, but I like odd numbers. So what is that? Because I realize I like 33, I like 9, I like divisions of threes.
Because you love the 3, and anything multiple of 3 is going to be compatible.
And then you said that represents fun. Isn't it fun
Fun.
and creativity?
Fun and creativity. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. So people might not know that, just to let everybody know, and this is where a reading with you would really help them too. I mean, Rhonda's helped me in many things too, especially before I buy a house or I move in a house. I mean, I moved 23 times, so I've had a lot of addresses. I haven't shared her 23 times of my addresses, but she has helped me before. So this might be good for people to know because your number, your life path number, has a lot. Not just you've done everything. You've done my name and life path, and all it makes sense. And once you get the numbers, you'll understand a lot more. And also I realize, why I'm attracted to things. I've even done this. I don't know if I told you, a couple places I lived in California, Montecito, which is one of the most expensive zip codes in California. And I was drawn there and I got to live there. there was another one too. Oh, Lake Tahoe. I love that too. And then I find out it's the 33. I didn't know that when I was there, but then it was like, oh, of course I love 33. And of course it's an expensive place because it's a master number. So I just think it's very helpful. So, if they want to reach out to you, how do they reach out to you?
They can go to my website, rhondarife.com. That's RHONDAREIF.com. You can find me on Facebook as well, and message
And
me.
reach out to me too.
Reach out
Yes, and we'll
through.
have the information down below too. And then you're also having a Valentine's special, I heard.
Yeah, I'm gonna put together a Valentine special. I'm gonna call it like a little love package, love reading. If you'd like to know in your relationship, if you're out there with a partner, if you'd like to know what the relationship dynamic is when you merge your two vibrations and frequencies, I can tell you
Ooh,
what that is numerically. And then
I like that.
also as a bonus, I'm gonna include and tell you what color that relationship becomes. So it's like the two auras when they merge together, like what are the colors with that too. And then I'm going to have some retail stuff too that's on my website too that you can get, as far as I've got some Valentine stuff and color baths if you want to take a little aromatherapy color bath, and a little heart-shaped
I love
stone.
this. And
Yeah,
this is all month because I know we're coming on
it's
a
all
little bit
month.
late before
Yeah.
Valentine's. So
Yep.
anybody can get it all month. So let me ask you too, the color you guys come together with the aura, what is that?
So like for instance, it
Do you need to know their birthday too? I'm assuming that you go by their birthday and your birthday. Is that how you
Yeah,
kind
I
of?
look at what their other numbers are and that kind of stuff too, and you can merge them
Okay.
together and then
Okay.
come up with the color. But I do. This is probably not something that you've explored. Like I do an entire. It's called a radiance blueprint where it's just your colors in your chart. That where it's converted, that it's not just numbers, it's colors. So you can see like what colors. Like, are you primary? Are you
Oh,
complementary? Are
very
you?
cool.
Yeah, it's very
And
cool.
then those colors are like implement those into your life because they will help you in some way.
Yeah, yeah. So once you know those colors, then you might be more drawn to colors, certain with that too. Like this could be a whole nother topic, but just to give you a really quick idea. So the right now we have the politics that are Democrat and Republican. And so the Republicans are red, the Democrats are blue. Okay, so blue is all about communication and talk, talk, talk.
Yes.
Red is all about power and money and all of those
Grounded. Root
root kind
chakra.
of
Yeah.
needs, right? So and it's about force and power. Well, when you look at it, that's exactly what it is. Like the Republicans are all about, okay, we got to do this, it's going to keep us in power, and the Democrats are like, well, we're just going to talk you out of it. Like nothing ever gets done, right? But when you mix red and purple together, red and blue together, you get purple. And then what? We have purple
Ah,
states, you see.
that
So
is
there's that.
so
And they
cool.
probably never even thought about that when they came up with the whole theory of who's going to be red and blue. But do you see how we're attracted to things like that? So this is like
Yeah.
something that can help you to explain like why are you drawn to certain colors on your website, or also who do you want to attract to come as your clients based on colors that you can offer. That
I
kind of
don't
thing.
want to attract pain in the ass people.
Yeah,
So, so we went happy, fun, abundant people. So, right.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
what color would that be if you went? So, I mean, I love the color yellow.
That
Every
well,
time I
that's
look
what
at
I was
yellow,
going to
to me, it's
say
happy.
is that yellow definitely is about
Gold,
happiness.
yellow.
Yep, gold.
Yeah.
And gold would give you that tinge of the where you said wealthy. So it would give the fun
Yes.
sort of wealthy, but it's also going to attract the intellectual person too. It's not going to be
Hmm.
just about with that too. So yeah, so it,
I like smart people too.
yeah, yeah, smart, wealthy, fun
We want
people.
smart.
Let's do gold. So
Yeah, I think we always want some smart people in there.
yeah, so there's that's kind of fun. So I just thought I'd throw that in if they wanted to do like the relationship. And
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
I don't really usually offer just a little relationship reading, like what your numbers would be for relationship. That's part of your soulmate
Very
blueprint,
cool.
because I have a soulmate blueprint as well. But I thought, well, this would just be something that's kind of fun that you know,
Perfect. I love it. I love
yeah.
it. So go check Rhonda out. Yeah,
And
I think that's awesome.
I do just want to give a shout out too about my calendar. Now it's going to show up reversed.
Absolutely.
It's going to show up reversed on your screen,
I see
but
it.
you can
I can
see
see it. Yeah.
that I have
Very cool.
all the different things here. Talks about all the portal days over here. each day I've taken and converted into a word or two of what the vibration is. So if it's a day for finances or romance, or if it's about having fun or going on a little trip or taking a detour, like I did that and coordinated it based on the month number and the day number for the universal year number. So I did all the hard work for you. You don't have to know, oh,
I love it.
8 day, what does that mean? You can just look at the
Right.
thing with that too. So you can get those on the website as well. So
And they can get them on there. We'll have that posted underneath. And
yeah,
of course, everybody can just reach out to me too.
yeah.
Anything else like the vibe of February or any big other days that we need to know?
Well, I'd have to say that anything that's dealing with a 2 or a 1 in it is going to be strong days for you. So like the
The
21st, the
2/11. I
12th,
think we're coming up
the
to 11th, right?
11th, the 10th, anything that's going to add up to a 2 or a 1. So like the 28th, even though it's a 28, it adds up to a 10, which is a 1. So that's going to be a
Okay.
strong number. So, kind of look at that. And again, those are all listed in the calendar, but just to kind of, even if you just remember that those are going to be that, and be gentle with yourself around this 17th, like a few days before and a few days after, and just try not to let it, if somebody gets cranky with you or short with you, there's so many changes going on
Breathe.
globally and personally. So don't take it personal, just
Right.
protect yourself, to get you some aura spray or cleanse yourself or smudge yourself or
Definitely.
whatever.
I have protection spray on my
Yeah.
website. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm in LJ. This is where I'm at, this beautiful cabin right now, LJ, Georgia. And I was debating on going home the 18th, which would be the day after 17th or before. And I'm like, I better get home just in case my son's there. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen that day.
Right.
And I feel it's a really big, explosive day. And I keep
Yeah.
seeing explosive. So I don't
Yeah.
know if it's going to be a volcano or
Yeah.
storms or something, but I do feel something. So I just thought it would be better to be there because people can freak out too when you have this powerful energy all coming in. It can make people go crazy.
It can, and the thing is that you keep saying explosive, and it's a powerful day. It's very possible that it could be something to do with our power grid as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking too, storm wise, because I see some storms coming
Hmm.
in. Whether we have storms all over. I mean, we just had they had a hurricane out on South Carolina. So yeah, I feel that. But the Ring of Fire, think of it, the Ring of Fire eclipse, the Ring of Fire, the West Coast. And I do feel that they're going to get something big. And then we have the volcanoes over there, and it's just going to be definitely. I feel earthquakes too. So it'll be really interesting to see what shows up for there. And yeah, it's interesting you said about power grid too, because I also feel some of this could be the new quantum leap energy, and we have Mercury retrograde, and just going it like you said, we're in the year of the horse. We're all new. The fire horse hasn't, we're in a new year. So how is the electricity we've been using forever going to be able to upgrade? You know what I mean? Too, it's just going to be really interesting to see all that.
And just in case they didn't get to see our previous thing when I talked a little bit about the fire horse, a fire horse in a year one has not happened for 180 years. And it won't happen for another 180 years. So you can look back to see what happened, 180 years ago, and kind of see what's going on with the changes and things that are happening. But it's very rare because we'll get a
I
fire
don't even
horse.
know 180 years ago. When was that? That was like 18. So that would have been so that would have been like eight the late that'd have been That'd have been a while ago. Do we know what happened? I mean,
I think
did
I
they
think
do
we
big
did it on the first.
inventions?
I think on the first podcast we did talk about that.
Okay. Okay. So we need to check that out. I don't think anybody's that old unless you guys are vampires, which I don't think any of us are.
Yeah.
So this is only going to happen this one time in our lifetime, for
18,
example.
1846. I want to think that there were some things that had happened with, changes that were happening with within our country, that kind of stuff. If I did the math right, and I just did it in a hurry, so.
Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right. We'll check that out.
but definitely just wanted to let them know it's rare. Like what's going on with this convergence is very rare. This isn't because we'll have a fire horse every 12 years, but we won't have it on a fire horse every 60 years. We'll have a horse every 12 years, but we'll only have a fire horse every 60 years.
Right.
We'll only have a fire horse in a year one every 180 years.
Wow.
So there's a lot going on that they, need
Wow.
to take a look at that. So, yeah, so I would look for a lot of
Exciting
things still
times.
repeating that happened like 180 years ago. So,
Very cool. Well, thank you for all the information. I'm excited to see what shows up, and for sure we'll be talking next month too. March, yeah. So we'll be in the fire horse, which I'm
we
excited to
will.
see. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Yep.
And definitely go see Rhonda. Your special sounds very cool. If I had a partner, I don't have a partner, but it sounds very cool. But who knows? Maybe I will by then, right?
Yeah.
They'll eclipse it. All right. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thanks. And we'll be putting you on there. And thank you so much for being on the show,
Thank
Rhonda.
you for having me, Vicky.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.